So hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. On today's video we're out on the gorgeous MT10SP and we're going to be going out talking about the future of motorcycles. So welcome back folks, and we're just down at Pine Lake in Carnforth. I saw that it wasn't raining today, so I thought I'd get out and discuss a topic that's been on my mind for the last week or so, and this is all around electric motorcycles and the electric cars, the future, what it holds for the future of the combustion engine and where it's all going. So I saw an announcement last week, or about 10 days ago, that the government from, I think it's June or July this year, so any new houses that are built in England have to have a separate electric meter and electric charge point for a car or a bike, and that's becoming law. So when these new developments or any new houses get built, they have to have a electric charge point outside so you can plug a hybrid or a full electric car or motorcycle. So where it comes a little bit sketchy, and this is why I wanted to discuss it, was that the government have stated that the electric meter has to be separate to the house usage, and obviously they'll have control about what they want to charge. Now when you look at the tax that the government takes from petrol or diesel at the forecourt just now, it's about 40% tax, and there's a lot of millions and billions going into the government's pocket, and that's why we pay so much for petrol and diesel in this country, especially at the moment with prices around 150, even up to 160 I've seen, which is very odd because the price of oil has recently gone down. Now the government have made a statement, and this is mainly because of the energy that we have in this country at the moment. Sometimes it's not enough, so they will control when you can plug your car in and charge it, and if they want to, they can actually take the electricity back out of whatever you've charged and back into the grid. You'll have an electric vehicle that you can't charge it when you want. Now I can see this being probably 2040, 2050, that the government will actually creep all this electricity costs for charging vehicles back up to a similar price that you pay at the forecourt currently for petrol and diesel. And they have to, because at the end of the day they're going to be losing billions if we switch over to electric, and by having a separate meter that will allow them to charge what they want and supply what they want when they want. And I think it's a big problem today because there's not enough energy to power what we have currently, let alone, you can imagine if every household has a charge point and an electric vehicle. There's just not enough energy to supply all of that, so I don't know where it's going to come from. You get all of the renewable energies and things like that. Now I'm on a contract with an energy company that says they're 100% renewable energy. So if they're 100% renewable energy, why are my energy prices for gas and electric going up? Should be going down, shouldn't it? I don't know. I know that it costs a lot of money to put renewable energy sources in, so that's probably the reason. But if you also see sometimes the windmills that are in the fields not working on a windy day, these windmills can produce more energy, but the problem is they actually can't store it, so they can overproduce and the grid has nowhere to put it. So it's only when the power stations and the sources that make electricity today are running low that they can fire the windmills up just to top it up. So they're used as a top up really, because of the storage issues that you get with electricity. Now while I'm not against electric vehicles, and I've even got an electric motorcycle coming hopefully in the spring, or at least once the weather warms up a little bit, and that's the Maving classic looking motorcycle. I'll pop a picture on the screen just now. And this motorcycle is accessible to most people. It's about £4,995. It's not the fastest in the world. I think it does about 45 miles per hour, and it's got about an 80 mile range. So what's good about this motorcycle is if you live in a city or near a city and you're commuting for work every day, it's probably the ideal choice. at the moment, yes, an electric bike would be a lot more cost effective, better for the environment. And also on this bike you can take the battery cassette out of the bike while you're at work, pop it into a charging dock next to your desk, just plugged into the wall, and then it takes about 3.5 hours to charge up to its 100% capacity. Now, I think this is more of a useful bike than some of the very costly and expensive bikes that I see out there on the market today, which are pretty ridiculous really with the costs. I think for a city these bikes would be absolutely perfect. Now I've got one coming, as I say. I'm looking forward to giving it a good old test. But yeah, back onto the topic of the government. So if they do creep the prices up, which they'll have to, then you'll be paying just the same amount of money for your energy usage for your electric car or motorcycle or vehicle. And I did read somewhere in a report, I'll try and find it again and put a link below, that it will take 4 years of ownership of a fully electric vehicle, meaning a car, this is not based on a motorcycle, to actually break even with the carbon footprint. Yes, it's not polluting like a diesel or petrol car would be, but I just sometimes wonder about the cost of producing all of these batteries and these rare earth minerals and all the mining that goes on to get these. Are we really in a position where it's actually better for the environment or not? I'm not in a rush myself to get a motorcycle that's all electric. I do love the combustion engine in a car and a bike. Always have done, always will, old school. But I suppose it's not really going to be in my generation, but the future generations, where we'll see something a little bit radical and a bit different. And it seems that all the car manufacturers are pretty much ramping up to go electric, some hybrid and some fully electric. So I'm not sure where it's all going, but yeah, it's quite an interesting topic really. If you've got anything to add on that, especially on how things are going to pan out and your thoughts on it, then drop a comment below. Interesting to hear your thoughts on that. So the weather's okay today, not too bad. Roads are greasy, roads are wet, and I'm actually out today with a new pair of gloves that I'm testing out. And these are the Garibaldi, if I'm spelling it or pronouncing it correctly. And they're a Spanish manufacturer, been around for donkey's years, and these are actually a winter glove, full leather winter glove with a 3M, I think it is, thin silhouette liner. I think the temperature's around 5 degrees currently, and I've been out for probably half an hour now, and I've not actually noticed any difference in temperature in my hands. They're pretty good, they're pretty protective. They're not a full gauntlet glove, I'll show you them shortly, and they're just a cuff glove with a Preston on to fasten them up. So if you're wearing a jacket like I am today, then you put the sleeves over the top of the gloves. Now in summer I actually bought some Merlin Finlay gloves, and there's also a link in the description below. If you're interested in a set of summer gloves, I bought those and I was really keen on them. And also, if you've watched plenty of my videos, you know that I'm a big lover of non-gauntlet gloves. And the other ones I have is the Knox Android pod gloves, which someone asked me about recently. And I find them much more comfortable than a full gauntlet glove to ride in. So I also want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to everybody that subscribes to the channel. We just hit 6,000 subscribers today, which is a huge milestone to get to. And originally when I set out making these videos, it was just to capture video footage of my tours and my holidays on my motorcycle. and it all kind of stemmed and grew from there, really. So huge thanks, and appreciate, guys, all your support that you've given over the years, so thank you very much. Now onward to 2022, and let's see how we can grow the channel this year. Finally got the okay from the wife for a trip around Easter time, so I'm either planning a Scotland trip in Easter, or I'm going to try and do the Black Forest and get down that way. Now, Easter time, April, what's the weather like in the Black Forest? Might be a bit cold, bit snowy, need to double check on that, but definitely the first big trip will be coming up at Easter for a whole week. So let's see where we can get off to. And then at the end of May we've got the Isle of Man TT, and that's back on again, road racing, which I'm really excited about. And I remember a few years ago I went to the TT. I would love to go back, to be honest. I might be having a little trip over to the Isle of Man for 5 days. That's if I can get a ferry booked, so I need to get onto that when I get home tonight and just see if there's any spaces available. And of course, when we go over to the Isle of Man, we'll be camping. I used a lovely little campsite last time, so it was right next to the circuit. Literally, you could hop out your tent and just sit on the grass verge behind you with the road next to it and watch all the bikes coming down there at about 185 miles an hour. Absolute wonderful place to watch some of the racing. And then in between all the racing, get on your own bike and go around the island, do the mountain. Really exciting, lovely place, the Isle of Man. So I need to get back there. So we're just coming into Milthorpe, and you've got a good burger and tea van just on the left just here, called Sue's. Sue's Cumbria Snacks just there. So if you need a bite to eat, that's where you need to come. So we're just going to head straight across, actually, down towards Arnside by the sea. See if we can't get a nice little coffee at one of the cafes down there. So I was looking at my heated vest this morning, hung up on the back of the door, and I bought that a few weeks ago, as many of you know. But then since I got this new Merlin EDL jacket, it's so warm and doesn't let any wind through, I don't actually need a heated vest. So I'm kind of thinking now, why did I buy a heated vest? If I'd have only bought the jacket prior to the heated vest, then I wouldn't have purchased it, but it's there for the future if I need it. The other side of the bay, just in front of us, just there, is Grange over Sands. So you've got the Lake District over the other side of the bay, the railway line at Arnside just in front over there, going over towards Grange. Now there was talk many years ago about putting a like a barrage, something to keep the water in this all the way up from Morecambe Bay up to here, and that would have been lovely if they could have only pulled it off and got enough money to be able to do it. You can imagine all of the bay full of water. I'm sure it would open up tourism. You'd have sailboats in there, marinas, and all kinds of stuff going on, water sports, everything. Now we're just going to do a right just here. You can go left towards Silverdale and then right towards Arnside. And then just on the right hand side here you've got Arnside railway station. You can actually get the train from here over the bay to Grange over Sands. Takes about 5-10 minutes. Quite a nice run. A little cafe on the left just opposite the railway station. And then if you know Arnside, you'll know there's a great chippy just round the corner, and there's a nice car park opposite, which is kind of on the sands, where you can have your fish and chips in your car if it's cold, or just sit there and have a little picnic. Just on the right there, the chippy's on the left just there. So that's the car park just there on the right. And then you've got a pub on the left, a Thwaites' Ye Olde Fighting Cocks, just here. And then you've got a few shops and bits and bobs down just in the main town just here. A few other bikes out today, popular place. There's a nice pie shop just along here on the left, I'll point that out. Plenty of bikes. The bakehouse just there. And then plenty of parking just down here. So these are the Garibaldi gloves, nice embossed, nice leather. They've got a 3M thin silk liner inside, really comfy. I think they do them in different colours as well. They've got a knuckle guard built in just here, nice and soft, really good. Happy with them. Quite a popular spot in summer, as you can imagine. It's busy now, so it's even busier then. Got the Albion pub just there. Good place to sit in summer, watch the sun go down. And then if you come up this road, just past the Albion, just follow this all the way. This will take you to Silverdale and around that area. Also a lovely coastal route just to get you back down towards Carnforth again. Now, as from next week, we'll be using the new DJI Action 2 camera on the helmet, so you'll have full stabilization and a little bit of a wider view. If you're a regular to the channel, you'll know I tested that camera out a while back, and I was just waiting because it was a new camera on the market for accessories being a ND filter. I always use an ND4 filter on the front of the helmet camera, but the only thing I was waiting for was an actual cage to put around the outside of it so I could mount it horizontally on the front of my helmet, as the action camera is just here. This is the DJI Osmo Action, which was the first action camera that DJI bought out, and they've actually currently stopped making it. So if you're looking for an action camera, although this is a very good one and has pretty much trumped the GoPros for a couple of years now, really, they've actually stopped making this in favour of the latest one, which isn't quite the same. I'll be doing a full review and a helmet cam setup in a couple of weeks. And the other camera is the Insta360 1X2, I think it is, that I've been using for a long time now, and that normally gives you the view from that camera back to me, or if I mount it somewhere else on the bike. And obviously I have 360 degrees. I can choose where I want the camera to look, and I've been really impressed with that. That is my favourite camera. Just the ability to capture every bit of footage that's around you 360 degrees in post, in editing. Just pick which view you want, really. So yeah, really happy with that. So if you're over this way, there's an awesome little campsite, Hollins Farm, just down here on the right hand side, and it's literally 200 yards from a beach, which is absolutely lovely to go to in the evening and have a little campfire. Just on the right hand side, just here, just over this field. The sign and the entrance is just here on the right hand side, Hollins Farm, and it's owned by Holgate's Caravan Park, which is actually just over that stile there. You can get to it, walk straight across the field, and it's just down the other side. And there's a static caravan site down there, and they have restaurant, bar, swimming pool, indoor pool and everything. And if you're staying at Hollins Farm, the campsite, you can use all of their facilities. So yeah, very good. So there it is, Morecambe Bay. You can see the power station, maybe not through the camera, but it's just in front of us, right over the other side. And then just down here you've got the beach area, Shingle Beach on the right, so the sea when it's in comes all the way up to here. This is one that's really nice of an evening to go and have a walk down there. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful place. And then if you are interested in coming for a swim or just a pint at the pub just up here, then you've got the facilities all on the caravan park just here on the left, just there. Now we're just coming into Silverdale just down here. Nice little village. Now I went down to see Andy at Junction 33 Developments the other day, and I actually had my Woolwich quick shifter removed from this bike, which gave me the down blipper. I may have mentioned before that when I bought this bike, 6 months after I bought it, I had the ECU flashed, had it dynoed, fully dyno tuned to get the fueling right on this bike, because new bikes with Euro 5 emissions and all these catalytic converters, they do make these bikes run lean from new, too lean in fact. So I had all that sorted out, and then I had the Woolwich race tools fitted, which gave me the up and down quick shifter. The bike actually comes with a quick shifter from new, but not the down blipper. Now I believe the 2022 MT10 and MT10SP has an up and down quick shifter from the factory, which will be good. Now the only problem is, I thought, well, I'll take the down blipper and Woolwich one off, and then I can sell that, because it was about 350 quid brand new, and I thought I'd probably get about £150 for it, but it turns out I can't actually sell it. And that's one of the downsides with the Woolwich quick shifter and blipper, is that it's key coded to the person that bought it. So even if I was to sell this for 50 quid, which is probably what I'd only get for it, well, it would still cost probably about 250 quid to get the key code swapped over to the new owner. So you're not really saving anything really, so it's not worth me selling it. So I'm just going to keep hold of it. It'll go in a bottom drawer on my toolbox. And what I've actually found is that the original quick shifter actually shifts more nicer, and when I actually do shift from first to second, second to third, you get a nice little pop from the exhaust with this decat system set up, so I quite like it. And the other thing that I used to get, which was really annoying, is sometimes I want to actually down blip myself, blip the throttle, pull the clutch, and basically because the down blipper has a sensor on it, I used to get a double blip, and it used to unsettle a bike, especially if you were going into a corner. So that's another downside to the Woolwich quick shifter and blipper. And also I see they're trying to bring a law in so that you can't actually modify motorcycles from a certain date. I've not got the full facts on it, but they're trying to get that passed through, so you literally buy a brand new bike and you could get an aftermarket or a approved, say when I bought this one, the Akrapovic was a Yamaha Akrapovic collaboration, so I could have got it fitted from the dealer. But if I wanted to buy a different exhaust pipe, like a Scorpion pipe, and put that on it, you can't actually do it, or you wouldn't be able to do it if that law comes in. Things like putting different windscreens on, different fairings, up and down quick shifters, all of those accessory parts that you would put on a motorcycle normally to make it yours and the way you want it, you wouldn't be allowed to do. So I'm not sure whether that'll get passed through. So if it does, it's going to come in and it's going to kill a lot of businesses that make aftermarket parts for motorcycles. I just can't see it happening really. I mean, you've got full businesses that make custom motorcycles. How are they going to get around it? I'm sure there's a way, but anyway, we'll see what happens. They're all trying to kill our fun, aren't they? The government. So we're just at the back, the hill. I used to go shooting, clay pigeon shooting on there when I was younger. And the other side of the hill is Leighton Hall, which is a nice little stately home. But they do a hill climb, motorcycle hill climb, that's really good. And it's open to anyone that wants to enter it, I think. And I've always fancied having a crack at it, actually, on this bike. So I think next year, or this year now, 2022, I'd quite like to do that. And I think this bike would be pretty perfect for a hill climb, really. You got all the torque low down. The only trouble would be just trying to keep the front wheel down on this thing, so I'd have to put it in traction control 3, which then stops it wheeling. The only problem with electronics, it does interfere and cut the power. It'd be nice to give it a try, I think. So you've got the marshland on the right hand side here. This is a nature reserve conservation area. So we're just coming into Carnforth now. Head over the canal and also under the railway bridge. Used to be an old steam train site, this. Not sure whether they still renovate the steam trains just here. Ah, see the Sizzle Inn's still there. That was there when I was in my teens. Used to love a Sizzle Inn now and then. Used to do some really nice burgers and stuff. So thanks again for all your support. It's great to hit 6,000 subs. Thanks you again to all of you that tune into the videos. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, then hit that subscribe button, ding that bell for future videos coming up, and we'll catch you on another one soon, guys. Take care. Cheers.